So we're live streaming. Let me just turn this light off, it's too bright. That's a bit better. Right, so I'm just sorting it out, and a couple of bits out now. Everyone wanted to see each of these. So, right, if you're here, just drop a comment because it's not coming up. It's Facebook's being a bit laggy as usual. So we're going to go through all the locomotives we've got here and just a brief explanation about them. We've got quite a few, so it might be a longish stream, but you all asked, so here we go. This is one of the little Hornby Sentinel shunters. So this is, we DCC fitted all of these locomotives. So normally you have to fit a Hornby 4-pin decoder in these, but they're not very good at running. So what we did, we actually fitted, I think it was a, what name was it? It was one of them Zen ones from DCC Concepts with a stay alive. So it took quite a bit to cram it in there. So it's a great little model. It came pre-weathered. We didn't do that ourselves. So nice little shunter. Not very powerful, but something just a little bit different. So, and it kind of stalls a few times as well. So it's not a great runner. We don't use it very often, as you can see. Yeah, I think I'll take that one through. So, thank you for all the good comments anyway during the live stream. 3. Loco 103. So this one's a Bachmann Class 3. Sounds like it's got sound, it's a bit raunchy. It's got cab lighting in as well. This came pre-weathered as well actually. What was this? So nice small little locomotive, great for just shunting. Obviously the wagon's in and out of the yard. This one has actually got a Bachmann chip in. It's a 6-pin chip. It's a great little runner, just something nice and a little bit different. But as anything with short wheelbase, sometimes they run a bit iffy, but runs a nice thing. Hi Gary, nice to see you back. So how are you getting on with your layout? So next locomotive we've got is actually a Hornby 08. So this has got to be weathered yet. I'm running actually, it's barely been touched. We applied the detail. Oh, thank you Gary. So we applied the detail, and what we've actually started to do, I'll pick it off the track and show you, we've started to apply on some of the locomotives. Rather than sticking the couplings on, which are a bit of an eyesore, especially when you're doing shows, we've started to apply a little loop on the bottom. I'll pick it up. So this is just like a paper clip, bent round and then glued in the bottom, 2 small tiny drill holes. So you can just hook the wagon straight on and off, nice and easy. I'm using a little hook. Oh, it's one that my dad constructed actually, one of many. So a little hook, and you can just put the coupling straight off, nice and easy. So it's 08489, that's a Hornby model. It's also got the little roof flap that opens up as well. I think the detail on the Hornby ones are quite nice. So my dad's got one that's got light and sound in. I don't know how on earth they got that in there, but check out his video. It's on the video Damson Park. So sorting these 08s out now. So I've got quite a few actually. 08173 BR Blue, Loco 08489. That's that one there. Oh wait, right, we also have Ivor, which is the 08 over here. This is a Derby Railway Technical Centre model. Not too sure its location or base actually. So, lovely locomotive. It's been custom weathered. Just finishing one of the last two backboards and track cork and the bus wire, I guess. So make sure you use thick enough gauge wire as well, Gary. So this one here, lovely 08 model. Right up. This has all been nicely weathered as well. This one did some time back actually. We've got to fit the coupling hoops yet. This is a Bachmann one. These are quite expensive. I think they were a limited model actually. Was it Invitica model rail? I can't remember exactly which model rail they were for, but they were for a custom shop. That's one of the Railway Technical Centre. I picked up all the coaches from Bachmann as well. So some of our locomotives, we've got a few class 20s. I've got a few in the drawer which we'll go through in a bit. So I'll just bring these through one by one so you can actually see. I'll go through the stock that we use on as an exhibition layout first. So this one's a Bachmann Class 20. This has a lens decoder in, which we've discovered recently gives much better running. You also have a option on the controller under F3 on your function 3 that gives a shunt mode, so it gives a much slower, more accurate running. These lens decoders, they are slightly expensive, but they're worth so much more. So we've got to do the same thing again, put the coupling loop and everything on. At the moment we've just got standard coupling, but we've taken the hook off, so it's only one to take off during an exhibition. So that's 21-8 in BR Blue. That's a pre-weathered one by Bachmann. They're available pretty much everywhere actually. You can find them on eBay and quite a few other places floating about. We've got a few class 20s actually. There's some that are being worked on at the moment. There's one with lights going on as well. 129. So this one's another BR Blue class 20. So it's coming. This is also fitted with a lens decoder. We do have some sound chips actually to put in these. Not got around to it yet. This has got yet to be weathered. So this was picked up. It's picked up second hand from Rails of Sheffield. So it's pre-owned one, but it's quite special. 2119. So hello Richard. So just in the side here, there's a little inset where they used to have tablet catchers on in the 1960s. So that's where that used to be. So, lovely locomotive and runs really nice and smooth. Slowly. So, how long's the layout? It's 10 foot by 2 foot. But so I am thinking of extending it a bit though. Just not for the exhibitions. This part will be for the exhibitions that we do. The extension is probably more for the home. I've got quite a lot of buildings for a fuel plant. And and also we've got all the tanker wagons and everything as well, so it might be something we're interested in doing shortly. So that's a couple of the Class 20s there. We also have so we've got that many boxes of locomotives, it's unreal. Right, so we've got a Class 25. I'm not doing these in any kind of order fully. So this one's a Class 25 in BR green. So yet again, this is fitted with a lens silver decoder. Just gives great running. So this is a weathered example. This is from the phase in the 1970s where they went from BR green to blue. So it's got quite a slow speed curve, which is on the video which we're doing at the moment about programming speed curves. So it gives a more realistic running effect. So this is a 25043. This is from Bachmann. So lovely locomotive. It's one of the O series. So this has got head codes on top. So nice and weathered, but it's got a few panels that have been replaced in blue. And there's a couple more on the other side as well. And it's nicely weathered. So it's good for the transition from 70s to, well, 60s to 70s, sorry. So around the tops when they started to give numbers. So quite a lot of our locomotives are Bachmann. A few of the later ones, 60s and stuff, are Hornby. So and we've got a few Helgens as well. So the thing is, it's only a 10-foot layout, so we love shorter locomotives. So here we've got 25, which one is it? 054. Loco 1251. So we use quite long addresses on these. So which one's this? 25054. This is fitted with a lens decoder as well. So it needs running in a bit, I think, this one. Good evening, Lewis. So how are you? Oh, might help if I actually put it on the rails properly. It is late at night. So another Class 25, excellent runner. We use it quite a few times along with the green one on shows. This is for bringing wagons off the main line and into the depot. So we actually have the Ethel somewhere. Oh. Right, the other thing we use are Class 24s. Yet again, Sulzer types. Is it Sulzer type 2? So this one's a Bachmann model, which is a, thank you very much, Nathan. So, I apologise for the bit of a shaky video, but obviously we're just doing this on the fly. People ask, so we shall think it give. So 1242. This one was actually a Christmas present from my father. So lovely locomotive. So one of the 24s actually. So this one's actually part of the British Rail test livery. Well, it's slightly lighter blue, and it also carries the ADB numbers. I think it's 968007. So quite a few things we have on this layout are from British Rail testing. So this is weathered. This one's just got it's actually got a Hornby sapphire decoder in, which is quite nice. So great little runner. Can you do a layout tour? Yes, I will do. Not a problem. So I'll show you a few bits towards the end of the video as well. I'll show you some of the wiring, and obviously how we control the layout and the control panel that we use. And we use the Gauge Master control system as well. So it's the best thing is it's for layout shows, it's all wireless, so it's no more tangled wires when there's two of you behind doing a show. It gets quite messy easily. So next locomotive we have, this was another Christmas present. This is one of my pride and joys. don't know if anyone's heard of Sutton Locomotive Works. So, Loco 24. So, excellent chap. This has a Zimmo decoder in, I believe. So, one second, I'm just cracking it up now. This has sound as well. So, it's coming, it's quite loud as well. So very detailed locomotive, much better than the Bachmann one. I think it's one chap that made these, I believe. So obviously he's got them produced and he's done them in quite a few deliveries as well. I think there's some technical centres, quite interesting 24s coming out actually. So lovely locomotive, but the sound I'm just getting it out now so you can have a look. The list of the sound functions on it is very long. So just for one controller, this is all the sound functions. Control lever on is F7. F8 is buffering. F9 is flange squeal, as you can may well hear. Thank you very much, Gary. So, lovely locomotive. Comes in a nice metal tin as well. It's rail exclusive, fine scale model collection. So it's part of Sutton Locomotive Works, so it's not a obviously a Hornby or a Bachmann model. So yeah, we've got a shunt mode, volume up, volume down, can all be done on the fly. So very extensive locomotive. And detail and the sound on it is, as you can hear, it's lovely. I'm going to turn that off for a second. It's quite loud, to say the least. Okay. So we're going for all the Sulzers first, by the looks of it. So we have another 25 again. These are quite typical in the 70s, for obviously running with coal loads. So what we have is, I can't remember them off by heart, we use 4-digit codes. So this is the list of our locomotives. 25. One second, which one's this? 231. So 25231, which is Loco 1252. Use quite long addresses, I know. So I'm just bringing that through now. So this is another one we use for bringing the wagons in and out. So this has just got a standard Bachmann decoder in. They're okay, but spending that extra few bits of money on lens equipment it makes such a difference. So I believe one of our watchers, Mark, I believe he's got a lens system. So very nice systems as well. So this one here is a Bachmann. It's pre-weathered again. It's one of the older models. It doesn't have full lighting or anything like that. So it's quite basic, but excellent runner and just very prototypical for the 70s again. Let's pop that one off. So one of the next ones we have is actually a Helgen Class 26. So a bit later era. So just popping it through now. So Class 26. So I believe this is 126. Yep. So it's the only problem with DCC. You have to remember all your numbers. So let's bring this through now. So this one's been weathered ourselves. Very nice locomotive. It's also got the little Scotty dog livery on. So you can pick these up quite cheap as well. Really lovely locomotives. Rails of Sheffield do them. This is on the Rail Freight early livery without the red band. So this one, this has got this one's a Bachmann decoder in as well. So runs absolutely great. I actually have quite a soft spot for Helgen locomotives. I think they're brilliant. So just bringing that through now. So I'm starting to run out of room already. So right, 1 second. I'm just programming some of these. Right, this is a 27. Another Helgen. Just picked up this Christmas actually. So I've got 2 of these. One's got sound, this one hasn't, but it's got sound yet to be fitted. Oh, thank you very much, Gary. It's not quite finished yet, but we're getting there slowly. So fitted this with a lens silver decoder. So I can promise you, anyone that runs DCC, spending that extra few pounds on a decoder makes all the difference. Just runs so much smoother and so much better. As you can see there. So just no little glitches, no problems. The Hornby decoders, we've had nothing but trouble with. So threw them out the window a long time ago actually. So that's in BR blue. That's D5389. So that's in the early blue livery. The next one. Please excuse me for 1 second. So we have a Class 20, one of the later ones. This one's got the domino head code. So a bit disappointed Bachmann never actually put lights in these. So, but very nice locomotive. This one, what's coming? We did the same again, fitted this with a lens 21 pin decoder. I think it's the silver one, this one. So, but you get like I said earlier, you get an extra option. You get F3, which is like a shunt mode, which for when you're running layouts, it runs so much nicer, smoothly. So this one's weathered. Ooh, I didn't think I put that on properly. I do apologise. I've got too many beers. 1 second. So this is 2141. So it's in the green livery. So it's all nicely weathered. This was pre-done factory. You can get this and the 25 from Bachmann. There's also a 47 which I'll show you later. These are all from Bachmann and these are ready done. So yeah, these are all pre-weathered. We do weather our stuff ourselves. It's a bit scary when you're doing locomotives. Zen decoders. Right, I've had 2 in Helgen locomotives, Gary, burn out. The Zen decoders. I'll drop you a few messages and I'll send you the details on the problems I've had with them. They are actually the same as the Gauge Master decoders from DCC Concepts. And we fitted the Stay Alive in a few, and I've had better results out of getting something either like the Hornby do a sapphire decoder, which is quite an expensive decoder, to say the least. It's about £40–45. It's 21 pin or 8 pin, but I found that or the lens ones run so much better, even compared to the ones that have the Stay Alive chip fitted. We fitted Stay Alive in a few locomotives. There's one here actually. I can show you. This is in a 37. This is with the Stay Alive. This is one of the 8 pin directs. This now no longer, it's been in storage for about 6 months. This no longer refuses to work. And I've had a few burn out as well. I've thrown them away, so I've got the pictures somewhere I can show you. But they are expensive for what they are, and don't shove them in anything that withdraws like an amp, which is a lot of Helgen 47s, 26s and 33s do withdraw like about an amp under high load, and they just burn out. They're not, yeah. Save you money, and just for an extra £5 or £3, whatever it is, buy something like a lens, even a standard one, it will give out an amp. So That's our class 20. I'm just going to bring the 27 out now. It's in the front, so Loco 127. So this one's from Olivia's Trains. It's a recent purchase. It's got sound as well. It's got their sound option fitted, and also it's got the cab lights and the rear lights fitted on as well. So it's just taking a minute to crank up. You'll probably hear it. So, this thing we have in sound locomotives, sometimes you have to wait. So we told it here to go. We're just waiting for a minute. So you'll see this coming out the front. It's got the brake tender attached as well. So you have to have the sound not stupidly loud, but quite loud. This has got the insets for the tablet catchers as well, that were previously there, obviously when they were in the green early eras down here. So, but we have to have them slightly loud, obviously, for exhibitions and shows. So obviously you have quite a few people in the hall watching your layout. So I'm just taking it up that end now. So I'm just going to bring it back. So, nice little brake noise there. So we managed to get one of these brake tenders, which are, I believe they're online. I think they're through Hornby magazine or something. So they're used quite commonly in the 60s. I took the great advice, something a bit different. My dad's got a green one, so I managed to find a nice blue one, which I don't think were too common. Just from my experience, Gary, that's all. I'll send you some messages with the pictures and the problems I've had, just so you can get just a brief understanding. So this is D5363, so it's Helgen. This is from Olivia's Trains. This is with their sound. I'll get the sound sheet function. They give me a little sound sheet with it as well, so it's probably hard to hear me over the noise of that. Oh, it's stuck. Oh, it's stuck to the sticker. Right, so we'll get a little sound sheet with it as well. So go through these. So F2's horn. Yeah, I've got a few Class 08s. I've got some more as well. I've done some earlier in the video. So that's your horn. We've got the brake release. We've got buffer clash. Coupling. You can hear. So cab door. Driver's whistle. F9 driver Akin. Okay. There we go. And we've got 1 second, shift 10, which is flange squeal. It's not coming on. Hello, Gary. So that's number 11, which is the compressor. And then we have F12, which is the air cylinder. And 13, just going through these so you can all hear. Rail clack. No, doesn't like that one for some reason. Sometimes they only work when they're running, you see. Obviously having an end-to-end layout, it sometimes restricts that. So we can ramp up the engine a bit and ramp it down. Fade sound, we've got separate cab lights, so we should have cab light number at one end. Shift 19. And shift 20. So I'll pop that one off now, but another great sound locomotive. So that's from Olivia's Trains. I believe Hatton's use them as well for their sounds. So I'm just going to pop that off for a second. This one. Right, another locomotive. I'm just going to pop this so you can see. I've not fitted a decoder in this one yet. So this is another Helgium. This is the Class 16. So we started to weather this one. We've got to put the disc codes on yet. So this one's not got a decoder fitted yet because I used it in the 27. I've got to pick another one up. I always pick mine up from Rails of Sheffield. They're one of the lens stock lists. Hatton's never seem to have them in stock, which I find. So, but lovely locomotive. We started to weather this, get a bit dirty. We've got to do all the blacks and everything yet, so this is one in progress. So, great runner. Comes with some nice detail on the front. This is all pre-applied as well, actually, the detail. So, but we've just got to finish the weathering, get all the blacks and everything done in the roof dirt, and that'll be a nice grimy 70s loco there. So, right, this one was a Christmas present for myself from my wife. So nothing's been done with this yet. We whacked a decoder in it. So I'm just gonna just make sure it's on the track properly. There we go. So this one's the Falcon, Class 53. So another Helgium example. I believe they do these at Olivia's, and I think you can get them at Rails at Sheffield as well, actually. So I believe this was part of, maybe wrong, part of the Class 47 prototype. So it was originally in like a really lime green livery. Obviously I'm BR blue, a bit later in the 70s. So we're rocking obviously a bit the later livery, so we're going to do a bit of weathering on this. My old layout had locos had a lens in them. Yes, I do agree. So we're going to fit some cab lights and stuff into this yet. We started to do all that ourselves. I'm doing a video on how to wire the cab lights in. It's fairly simple. So you can wire them straight from the decoder, because a lot of locomotives don't have cab lights. So it just creates that, if it's standing about, just creates that bit of extra detail as well. So lovely locomotive. So we've got to do a bit of weathering detail on that yet. So, but I'm very grateful to my wife for that for Christmas. So that's the Falcon. I'm just going to pop that off. So, thank you for everyone that's watching. Right, we've got some more yet. We've got a fair few more. Right, so this is a Class 47. This one's a weathered example. This one's from Bachmann. I'm just going to get the code. This is in BR green, but obviously it's got the tops livery. So it was given the new livery numbers, but not actually repainted yet. So that's Loco 147. These ones, this has cab lights as well as obviously you have headco lights. So we've run this in, excellent runner. Let's pop it up now. Can you put cab lights? Yes. I'll send you some. Oh, I've got a 59 I was doing. I'll go fetch it in a second. It really is actually quite easy. When you learn, you've got one return, neutral return, and then you've got your two outlets. So if you want, you can either put them on. You can either put them on the same function number and have both come on, or you can do it individually. If you use a decent decoder that's like a 4-function decoder, you're absolutely fine. Most decoders will tell you what function they are. So I'm just going to try and get this 58 now. So this one's in the works. We're just using a Bachmann decoder for testing it. So we put it in the socket. So we use these little micro LEDs. Okay. So these are very tiny, very fiddly. They come pre-soldered, thank God, because my eyesight's not very good for that. But they'll easily fit in the cabs, and this wires straight to the decoder. So what you've got 3 wires. One's your main in. I can't remember which one it is actually in the minute. I think it's blue. And then you have your 2 function wires. So I've got these on 2 separate functions. In here, I've just shrink wrapped it, just for obviously saving any shorts. In there, there's 2 resistors. So obviously you can't wire these direct. These are 3 volts. If you wire these directly onto a 12-volt feed, which it gives out from the decoder, they'll go puff. So that's just a Hornby 59 we're doing at the minute. We changed the wheel sets and a few bits on them as well. So, but it's really easily done. I'll do a video on that so you can all see. So, but these really do give out some bright light, these little mini LEDs. There's some here on the signal box as well. That's them mini LEDs. So. So, let me just move this one out of the way. Yeah, like I said, it is easy. You've just got to have a little bit of patience with soldering. And just pick up some 1K resistors. I would say get them from Maplin's, but I'm afraid that's no more, is it? So you can get them quite easily online, cheaply as well. So, there's a fair few locos. 1 second, Loco 158. So we use Loco 158. So this hasn't been running actually quite a long time. So it's all fully weathered. 1 second, just not on the tracks quite. There we go. So this one's a weathered example. It's Helgium. So nice little runner. Runs lovely and smoothly. It's literally just black streaking down the sides. And then all we use is actually frame dirt and a mixture of track dirt, which gives it a bit darker in the middle of the boxes here, just to weather along there. It's got a general spray, and generally we mask the windows off a little bit and then stick a little bit extra on top. So a little bit of grime coming up here. Some of the buffers have lost some of the weathering when it got stored. It didn't get stored quite correctly, which is shamefully. It's my fault. So, do you have to change the wheel sets? No. As long as your back-to-back's fine. The thing is, with running DCC, if you're running insta-frog points, I'll see if I can find a point or something in a moment for you. They're in the middle of the frog. If you're not running electro-frog points, thank you very much, Gary. So, in the middle of the frog here, these are permanently wired. We use frog juicers. I'll find one now from Gauge Master. These tiny little boards. Just on the back, you have 3 solder points. 1 at one end and 2 at the other. Oh, there we go. So that goes to your frog. 1 goes to your outside line. 1 goes to your inside line. Automatically, when the train goes over, automatically switches. You get no shorts. Great smooth running. No problems at all. With insta-frog points, I'm just going to see if I can try and find one for you for 1 second. On the middle of the frog, you do have... 1 second. Sorry, I'm just trying to find one. I've got a lot of stuff put away. Here we go. Here's a crossover. So we do find that wheels do come from one side to the other, and they do create a little short. These aren't too bad, they're quite wide, but the longer the point you use, obviously usually the shorter the frog is. So you'll find it shorts this track here and this one here. So just if you are upgrading, obviously stay with it if you've already got them. But if you are upgrading, definitely go to insta-frog and use something like a frog juicer, or link it to the switch on your point motor if you do use them. So obviously the wheel distance between the wheels, obviously as long as the back-to-back's correct, you can get a gauge from like DCC Concepts, which gives quite a bit of detail. Sorry, quite a bit of detail. I really am half asleep. Which it's really fine, and it just creates us a lot less running problems when we use them. but you should generally be fine. So, but obviously with it being an old is it an old Hornby 58? Sorry, I do apologise. I'm trying to zoom in and move it. It's I'm having to do it on my phone. So with the old Hornby 58s, obviously you will have to hardwire that. I've not actually had one myself, so I don't know fully what they like to do. Some locomotives you really... Bachmann used to make an old 03, and the chassis itself was actually the conductor, so you couldn't really, without getting a hacksaw and isolating part of it off, you couldn't really fit them with decoders. But yeah, if it's one that, I think the Hornby ones, I think they use the plastic, and they'd have had the white, there's wires that go into one of the bogies. So you'll have your, is it grey and orange coming from the track? And then you have your two motors going straight to the wires, red and black. So it's just literally two into the decoder, two into the motor on there. So, but you can, obviously if you get something, just like, get like an 8-pin decoder and just chop the end off. And you'll be able to solder and connect those together. Right. The next one, Loco 3. 1 second, just sorting it now. The next one's a Hornby Class 31. I don't know if anyone's had these or had trouble with them, because this is my third 31. It's the only one that I've not had problems with. It's alright, Richard. So, Hornby Class 31. Love the locomotive. I had one in blue as well. Absolutely great, and I've also got one in engineer's livery. This one hasn't had any problems, touch wood. The other ones, the chassis have actually expanded. I don't know if anyone else has had that or seen it. I'll show you in a second. The chassis have actually expanded on them over time, and they're made out of this really brittle, like cast metal. So, I'll just take this to bits. So you can actually see, this is actually broke off, and they actually expand when you leave them in storage by themselves, and they crack at the chassis. This one, luckily, has been okay. I'll show you an extent of the damage. So this is the body shell off the other one in Dutch engineer's livery. They actually just split the body shell quite apart. So anyone that's buying a Hornby 31, these are the super detail ones, not the railroad. Please be careful. I've had a blue one as well do this, and also this one as well. So, but touch wood, this model is generally I've seen fine. But other ones I've seen on the internet, the blue ones and stuff, the chassis just disintegrate on them. So I'd really love to have a nice blue 31. So there's quite a lot around Toten and stuff in the day, wasn't there? Yeah, they are like gold dust. So that's yeah, it's 31296. So that's construction livery. So obviously it's a bit 90s that. So I'm trying to move the camera a bit. So it's not gold dust, but I do love the 31s. Okay, right. So we've done the 58, we've done the thingy, we've done the 27. So just getting these apart. Right. So the next one we've got Class 40. Bear with me for 1 second, there's a few wheels on this one to put down. So this one's also a technical centre, well not livery shall I say, it was renumbered 97, so it's 97407. Love the locomotive. We stick it with like the, we have one of them inspection saloons. 1 second, just coming along now. This is from Bachmann, it comes pre-weathered. So this has actually got a TCS decoder in. So lovely locomotive. Not very good if you've got first radius points though. But luckily we don't really have any curves here. As you can see, I didn't put the front trailing wheel on properly. Very easily done. So 97407. They named it Aurel, A-U-R-E-O-L. Sorry, I'm not very good at the pronouncing. So this is a Bachmann model. So we stick this with one of the inspection saloons on the front of our layout. This has got yet to be weathered. we've been putting some detail in these. So these we use for obviously track inspection. We've got a little man in there, we've got some at the desk as well. We've got some little pantograph machines, and we've also got someone else at the other end as well working on the desk and looking at some paperwork. One end we keep the coupling on. The other end has obviously got the detail on, and the obviously it's the lamp as well. That's only used obviously when going in the other position. So, but that goes up on the main line with this. So Class 40 is a very nice locomotive. Right, on to our next one. This is another one that was used around the Midlands. I think it's mainly Derby. This was a gift from the father again. So this one, I've got it down, it's Class 47, it's in maroon technical livery. So, 1 second, Loco 149. So, same as all Bachmann 47s, come with lights. They also have cab lights on as well. So, I know quite a lot of people are Class 47 fans. I'll go through the drawers and show you. I've got a few actually, which I'll show you in a moment. Some of them have just not had running for quite some time since I had the last layout. I had a bit of a break just due to work and stuff. So this is a maroon livery. So, and it's got Midlands, was it Midland Counties Railway, 150. So it's 150 years. So nice little plaque supplied. So something just a little bit different. So it's nice having blue stuff, but occasionally just have something a little bit different is quite nice. So great runner. All Bachmann 47s are superb runners actually. So starting to run out of room. Right, next one is a weathered example. It's a Helgen. It's not the best attempt at weathering we did. It's some while back now. I'm hoping this runs okay. So they have Helgen. This is one of the early examples. They actually keep an eye out with Helgen 47s. They had a batch that went with the copper wheels, so like a brass copper wheel, and they get dirty so easy. So I'm just trying to Class 47 BR blue, Helgen Loco 148. So hence this is part of the problem we've got here. I'll bring this one and show it. I've not cleaned the wheels in some time. So 47, Brian Morrison 47847. Went a little bit wrong with the weathering on the roof there. It's a bit too round and sharp, but we'll fix that at some point. There's an early one that I did. So it's got all the detail on the front as well. Same thing for us on the rear. 1 second. Trying to move it out. We've got the coupling on the rear as well. So these are very heavy locomotives. They are slightly different in scale compared to the Bachmann ones. Just got the Bachmann one we were just looking at. 1 second. They are quite a bit wider. I don't know if anyone's noticed. So there's quite a bit of a difference there. So I do like the Helgen 47s though. So, but width wise and scale wise, they are a little bit larger. So it's not. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's like I say. Lighting, everything else. We have put cab lighting in this as well. I'm sorry it can't be running. We've just not cleaned the wheels in some time. I'll show you the problem that we have with the wheels. So this is they use like these copper brass wheels, and they just get absolutely ditched. The main thing is it's the pickups on the inside. You have to clean the inside of the wheels. So I've also got a little figurine on there as well. I don't know too much about that unless anyone else does. So it's BR blue, large logo livery. Another example that's seen in the 80s. Right, next one we have is a Hornby Class 56. So I've got a couple of these. I've got one in rail freight as well. So Class 56 is 156. So these are just the locos that we run on when we're doing the exhibitions. So nice run of this. I did used to find when I had the layout that went all the way around the garage and I had the helixes on. Anyone's not seen it, check out the video. I used to find it used to pull the first wagon off quite a lot. So the couplings basically trail behind with the bogie, and it used to pull the wagon off if it went on like a sharp curve. So very nice locomotive, comes with front lighting and everything. I can tell you a bit about this. This has actually got a, still got a, what's this one? This has got a lens gold stay alive chip in. So I don't know why we put it in that actually. But lovely locomotive, yet to be weathered. I think the roof's a bit sharp in colour. So just going to pop that out of the way. So 56, I believe will work from the 47s, weren't they? So, right, this one's one of my pride and joys. I love the Class 60s, obviously built at Loughborough, and Hornby did quite a nice model of it. Very fragile. This one's actually one of my pride and joys. Well, one of them. So this is Loco 161. Okay, I've got to check that one out. I'll have to see, some of these have been in storage, I do apologise. So this is a Class 60 weathered, Samuel Johnson in petroleum livery. I've used it on a couple of photos. I've got to have a look, see exactly why that's not running. Seems to have got its number for some reason. So Samuel Johnson, there he is, but very nicely weathered. Second favourite loco, definitely. So Hornby models I think are brilliant. So I have got another 60 as well. This one, hopefully this one works. I really don't. I need to have a look at see why that's not working actually. So this one. So both of them have actually got sound. So this one, I believe it's from my father actually. It was one of the Lego Man Biffo sounds. So it's so it's a Hornby Class 60 in Colt livery, which is great for us. It's quite a common sight in the early 90s. Crank the sound up. I'm afraid it's pretty max on that one. It's not quite as loud. I don't think I've set it fully. So it's not as loud as the Sutton Locomotive works, 24. I'm just gonna, so another great example, they come in nice spring buffers, great detail how you can see through the engine bay on these. So you can get the Lima ones quite cheap as well, really cheap. I've seen them go for like 20–30 pounds. So, but that's Lego Man Biffo sound, that one. So the other one's got a Hornby one in. I'm just going to try it again actually, because I think I got the numbers mixed up. So I'm just going to take that one off. I'm just going to try the other one again. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. I got the numbers mixed up. The loco's fine. Thank God. So, probably hear it crank up. So it's a bit quiet. I've not set the decoder in this. I picked up one of them Hornby do a TTS decoder. I don't know if anyone's using them. I picked up a few as a trial. These. They're a nice cheap option just for working locomotives. So it seems to run alright with it. So, but I haven't tried them out yet. I always give something a try. So it really looks quite nice in the weather delivery on that. I've not been putting them on the track properly, I do apologise. So we have a joint in the middle. The layout's moved very slightly actually. So we have a joint in the middle because obviously it has to go into two pieces for exhibitions. So runs quite nicely and smoothly. So I don't know the full sound functions on this actually, but I do love. That's one of my favourite locomotives. 60. My first is actually the 59. I'm quite a big Class 59 fan. So I'm waiting for, I believe it's Daypol, isn't it, they're making them. So I've got a few of the Hornby ones, I'll get those out in a bit and show you. So, yeah, Class 60, lovely locomotive. So, just going to pop this out of the way. I've got an 08. I don't know how this one's going to run, but it's quite a rarish one. So just let me pop these back. This one hasn't been run in about 2 years, but someone did ask to see a couple of 08s. So, ooh, doesn't sound the best. So this one's in intercity livery, Piccadilly. So I guess this was down London. So I guess this was for bringing the coaches in and out. This is in the, is it for, well, executive swallow livery. I don't know what to say. It's quite a white band underneath. So I don't know if anyone knows any better. So it really hasn't been running quite a long time, this one. So this is a Bachmann one. Yeah, it's really, that needs to go to the works and get worked on a bit, that one. Right, I'm just going to put the next one together. It's actually a, the exact class, I believe it's a 1 second. Just putting this together, I believe it's a 108. I may be wrong, could be 105. I've got a few of these. So I'm just going to pop this together. So this has got sound. We weathered it along the base because they were generally quite, in real life, they're quite dingy underneath. And the tops were generally quite well cleaned on the washers. So I'm just going to pop this together. They're just a bit awkward to couple together. I'll tell you what it is in exactly 1 second. So yeah, this is a 1082 car. This has got sound as well. This is just the ESU lock pilot. It's one of the older ones, 3.5. You can get a newer version 4 now. I do apologise. It don't seem to be running actually. Let me just stick it on the programming track. Just be 2 secs, guys. Sorry. So some of them got reprogrammed when we were changing the layout about programming track address 1. Just programming it now. There we go. So we have a separate programming chat that goes around the back of the layout for exhibitions. So I do apologise, not quite 100% organised this evening, but I just did it because someone asked. So I thought, yeah, put this together. So, wide awake, what else are you going today? There we go. Thanks, Richard. I'll get the other 08s out in a second. A lot of them we haven't really run because they're such a short wheelbase, so they can create stalls or anything quite easily. So, love a DMU. Yeah, I've got a few actually. I'll get them all out to show you. So this one is 108. It's going to Sheffield, and on the other end we've got Doncaster. So anyone from Sheffield or Doncaster? As you can see, some of these have not been run in a while. So I do apologise, but... So you've got slam door shuts, bit of a guard's whistle, a bit of a thing. So this is 108, this is a Bachmann one. Like I said, it's got a lock pilot 3.5. We've weathered along the base actually, we took the tops off actually, weathered along the base just to give it that effect, because generally they were quite clean on top, but underneath they were really quite dingy. So that's just a bit of track dirt and a bit of matte black, nicely applied. So we'll just use a spray brush. So pop that one off. So let's see, I'll see what other 08s we've got as well, and we'll start and look at the stuff that I've got in storage soon. So, right, here's one. This one's from the storage boxes. So see, I don't know how this one's going to quite run. It's quite loud. So what we've got in here, it's a lock pilot sound decoder. It's class 59. Can't remember the number on it. Let me have a look. What was it previously? Class 59. National. Loco 62. There we go, 63, I do apologise. So what DMUs have you got, Chris? My favourite of all time has got to be, for DMU, I've got the Daypol 121. So some quite nice sound to this. I do love the 59s. I'll show you some of the others in a moment. So I haven't done no lighting modifications or anything on this one yet. It's not been running quite some time, so I don't even know if it runs 100%. Yeah, I did explain. Yeah, I thought it wouldn't. Like I said, a few of the locomotives, these are out of drawers, and they've not been running so long. Yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick show. So that's Kenneth J. Painter, I believe, 59005. Yeah, I think that one needs a good clean. So that's 59 we've got fitted with sound. Right, let's have a look through the drawers and see what we've got. A few bits here. Just going to disconnect you. So this is a bit deep dark abyss. So we've got a few 37s. A few of these not fit through. So we've got a class 24. This is 24077. So this is Bachmann one. This one was an early weathered one. Not 100% happy with that. And then we've got a few 37s which are in the Intercity and Swallow livery. These are all Vitrains ones. So we've got a class 40, 40159, and we've got 37 428, which is petroleum livery. Just move that out of the way. It's steam locomotive Duke of Gloucester. It's the only steam locomotive I have. Everything else is diesel. So we've got the 46 here. And we've got the Railway Technical Centre livery, Ixion one as well. These are stupidly expensive, if anyone's seen them. So that's another one of my Railway Technical Centre locomotives. Let's have a look at the next drawer. DMUs. So Chris Hunt, it might appeal you. We've got a 158. I apologise, these are mainly from my old layout, so I cannot remember the address numbers for most of these. So thank you, Richard. So 158 3 car. I did do the lighting modification on this in DCC. So lovely locomotive. They are bringing a new one out apparently sometime in the next few years. So the middle car is the one with the motor in, and then you've got the car front and rear. So we've got a couple more 105s and 103s here, and 101s. So just in various liveries, and we have two of the Batman Class 150s. So these are both in Regional Railways livery. I haven't used them on this layout or for expeditions, none of this stuff. It's just previously old stuff, and it's just stuff that may be used in the future. Let's have a look at the next lot. So the drawers I use are actually from IKEA. They're actually they're for A0 drawings. So, but they're quite handy to store locomotives. Put a bit, nice bit of foam underneath, plonk them down. So this is a collection of 47s. So I'll start on one by one so you can have a look. There's a few of you into these. So this is in petroleum livery. Pence a day, 47190. This is pre-weathered by Bachmann. We fit the ploughs on this. So, okay. And the next one we have is in the, I think it was mid late 90s mail livery. So Sir Rowland Hill. All these are exactly the same. You get from Bachmann. You get a little driver in there as well. So they do stick a few extra touches in. 1 second. Right, this one's a Helgen 47. So this is 47212. You can feel the weight difference. Such a difference, but let me just move this out of the way before I damage anything. So you can see quite a difference in the width compared to them, and the detail is a lot better on the Bachmann one, but they are very good runners, the Helgen. This one I'm not too keen on these models, but it's the only livery I could get in it. This is obviously a bit of both. This is tops, pre-tops, mixture in the transition. This is 47519. This is in BR green. This is a Vitrains one. These can be picked up really cheap. I do love the Vitrains 37s. They're excellent for the value for the money. But these can be picked up quite cheap. So 1 second, just move these 59s out of the way. So this is another Bachmann 47 Titan, 4721612, 476. So nice livery. And we have a rail freight distribution one, Diamond Jubilee, which is 47365. So I will get to reprogramming all these and get all these out actually and start and use them. They literally have not been used in about 2 years at least. So since the last layout. So this is another Bachmann. Love the white wheels. Firefly. This was painted in a pristine livery. I think it was repainted. I think it's about the mid-90s actually. I think they used it for a few royal duties as well. And then we have the Bachmann 47301, which is in the rail freight livery as well. So there's no detailing been applied to that one yet. Love the old Intercity livery. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, the 37s. These are all Vitrains 37s. I bought every single one. It took me quite a while actually. Got these all on eBay a couple of years back. You can see from the dust. So these are Vitrains, but they're the only people that produced them in this livery. So nice little locomotive. I picked these up for about £50–60 each. So compared to the Bachmann ones, they're quite a steal. They do come with lighting and everything. They're good weight to them and they're good runners. So they're all wheel pickup and everything as well. So, and yeah, I managed to pick each and every one up. Some came as a twin collection as well. This one here I believe is the Swallow livery, which is obviously a little bit later, but the colours are just lovely. And you get the different versions. So we've got, these are all 37.4 you can tell from the head code. And then this one here is 37.5, which is a bit later and quite a different front on it as well. So if you notice the absence of the horns on top as well. So, but the detail that you get from for like £50–60 compared to the Bachmann ones is really astonishing. Great runners. Really would recommend them. Let's see what else we've got in the magic drawers. Right, there's a few leftovers. Some of this has been taken. So that's the 153 from Hornby. I had to do a bit of modification on the CVs with these. They tend to jump when you first put a decoder in them, as in stalls, and then it'll go jump, jump. Put it out there. I have one of those in 00 gauge, but can't get it to work. Probably sees from a few years. It's most likely, Will, it's most likely going to be dirt. It really is. What make is your 47? Is it one of the Hornby ones or Lima? So, yeah, this is one of the 153s. Lovely. Great single car DMU. Lovely runner. Right, this one's quite special. Eiffel. So, as you can see, this is a class 25. So, this was used as a train heating unit up in Scotland. There was 3 of these. This one was the one in the intercity livery. And they were generally pulled behind, I think it was it the early 37s? I'm not too sure. Up in Scotland, and these were used just to generate the steam heating for, obviously, the carriages. Look it up on Google. So there's Eiffel 1, 2 and 3. So quite something rare, and it's more of a pull locomotive you have between this and then a set of carriages as well. So here we go. This is a Hornby class 56. So another 56. I've not got round to, this one needs a really good clean. I've not got round to sorting this out yet, but that will be one that's going on the layout and for exhibitions. Oh, sorry, getting pins and needles. So 33. So this one was weathered early by ourselves. Quite a dingy. This is an engineer's Dutch livery. So we've got quite a few wagons and stuff to go with this as well. So stuff that's coming to the layout, because we do run it from what, late 60s right the way through to the 90s. So we change it throughout the day. And a lot of people's favourite, 52. This is Western Cavalier. So I've not got around to putting the head codes in this yet, actually. D1021. So these are from Daypol. Lovely, really lovely runner. Nice and smooth. Wouldn't recommend on anything with a tight curve. And then we have a... I've never really got into these, but class 50s. So I've got a couple of these. So we've got the Thunderer, which is 50008 and 50035. These are all Hornby. So the where are we? I've completely forgotten now. So yeah, the 50s are Hornby. So it's the 153. The Eiffel is Bachmann. These were, I think these were for a model rail shop that went bust. I can't remember, but they were produced specifically. But you can pick them up on eBay. They're quite expensive actually. We've got the 56, which is Hornby. We've got the 33, which is Helgen, and Daypol, which is the 1021. I do have one more secret love for one set of trains. 1 second. That's HSDs. So picked up the early Hornby ones, the later ones. Then obviously we've got the Swallow livery. This is the ones from the first set, and the executive livery as well. So absolutely lovely locomotives, these. I just, with the layout at the minute, I just haven't got anywhere to run these. And then we've got, you can pick these up really cheap from Rails of Sheffield. Class 1 to 8. I'll see if I can get one of these running actually. Absolutely. So I can show you the lighting on these is really nice as well. So just bear with me for 1 second. See if I can just find the old decoder number. But you can see the lighting and everything on these. Nice, it's something different. Where are we? 128. It's 88 or 89. Loco 88. Yeah, this is the one. So you can see these. I got this for about 60 odd pounds. Great steal. So it's Helgen locomotives. It's Rails of Sheffield. They do quite a few of these. So cab lights, obviously, Royal Mail letters, goes great with a lot of the stuff we used to have as a livery. Really nice run. Oh, this is going to run because it hasn't been running some time. So create some colour to a layout. Something quite different. So I don't know if anyone else uses anything like this or into a bit of parcels livery. So we also got these. You can get a Scooby-Doo one as well, actually. So they named it Scooby-Doo, one of them. So this one's in BR blue livery. So it's a bit more plain. I do prefer the Royal Mail livery later, but And that comes with a corridor on as well, where the 128 there doesn't. Right, I'm just going to pop this one off. I'm just going to go through it. There's a few more. There's a top drawer with a few bits in. Just going to get these out. So, another 20. This one's off. This is in rail freight delivery. We've got a bit of work. It's had a bit of damage on the buffers and stuff. But this one's another Bachmann example. This is the original head codes for the Domino. So, one of my favourite 08s. Circo livery. So something a bit different. It's quite a bit new for this layout. So it's good 90s, early 2000s. This one, I believe. So, but lovely loco. Love that to bits. Something a little bit rare. I like how it's got the checkered down here as well. So some really great detail from these Hornby 08s actually. These are the super detailed ones, and compared to the Bachmann ones, they really are quite astonishing. So, that's a bit of button beam as well. Sure, a few people have seen these about. Wind off, the track cleaning things. Got a couple of these. These are in, it's in a few bits at the minute actually, the other car. So, but great, nice little runner. These are, well, late 90s, early 2000s again. So this is more for something later, which we'll get on. And I'm seeing that's the Dapol 121 bubble car. So lovely locomotive. I've not put a decoder in this yet, that's why it's not been on. So, but they get some really good detail. Can't wait to actually weather it and dim it down a bit. But great run. I've got to apply the head codes as well. So these are really nice. The paint on them's really nicely applied as well. Right, something a little bit different. These are non-running locomotives. So this one here is condition save me. This sits in the side and over the back. It's a old, I think it's Lima. I'm sure it's, yeah, it is Lima. Lima 55. There's no motor or anything in it, but it's quite a weathered and battered up condition. Rest in peace condition. Sorry, I'm just going through the drawer here. There's more stuff. So this one's one my dad made years ago in the, I think the 80s, 90s. This is a 52 in BR blue, like large logo livery. It didn't happen. It was just a mock-up and a bit of fun, and gave him something to do, I think, at the time. So it's quite a few years old, this. And we also have the one that needs a clean. Just 1 second. There's a 08 again, another 08 in BR blue. We've got quite a few of these actually. So these will be going on the layout. We'll be using videos. Right, I'm just going to get one that's quite special actually to us. 1 second. Where's it gone? So this one here, just 1 second. I'm just going to reprogram it because I can't remember the number for it. Program and check. Bear with me for 1 second, I'm just programming this now. So this is Laboratory 20. So Lab 20. So this is a Helgen example, something a little bit different. So those that like the DMUs, it was a test delivery one. Let's see how this runs. This hasn't been running some time. 1 second, I'll change the points over. There we go. So this is a Helgen example. This has all been weathered up. So this is British Rail Research Derby, Trouble 9507. So as far as I'm aware, this isn't an exact replica or anything like that. It was altered quite a bit, but it is something that's quite nice. Just something a little bit different. You've got interior lights that go off and on, off, on. And obviously you have front and reverse cab lights on that as well. So something nice, just something a bit different. I don't know if many of you seen one of those. Oop, and it's stalled. They really do need to clean some of these. Always keep your locos clean. Yeah, I'll pop that one away. I've just got to be gentle with that. Trying to think. I think that's about it on the locos. Wagons, oh, they're all boxed, they're galore. So, right, what we use to run the layout. Okay, this is actually coming in a video later that we're doing. So we actually use I don't know if many of you heard of it, Gagemaster Prodigy Advanced 2 system. These are the wireless walk-arounds. You get a little on-off switch at the side, and they just recharge off the system. It all uses Cat5 cables, which plonk in the bottom, they just recharge there. So when you're running an exhibition layout, the last thing you want to be doing is walking along the back and crossing each other with wires, which we've done quite a lot previously. So we've upgraded it recently to wireless controllers. Gives them more freedom to go around to the front, see people. I'm thinking, right, I'll give you, sorry, there is a few locomotives all over the layout because obviously we've been going through bits. So the layout has got quite a bit more to go yet. So we've got retaining wall at the side. There is back scenes to come on soon as well. We actually have a tunnel off there which actually gives us access to, we're having a transverser built at the side actually. Then down here, obviously, we've just got, actually down here it's down the workshop. We've put a few bits of detail in here down the side. Usually we have a few cab sides as well. There's a little flickering fire bin. These can be picked up really cheap. I think they're about, it just plugs in 12 volt. I think they're about £5–6 from Model Rail Scenery. And then we've got a couple of bikes. A nice little bike shed. This is from Batman. We don't use cardboard models on the layout. Because obviously when we do exhibitions, sometimes you get a bit damp, things moving, they end up curling up over time and they end up really coming out. So let me zoom out again. So here we go, here's our little car park. Usually we have a few little vans in here, old British Rail 70s vans. Sure, they were great fun to drive. Nice little lamp down here and a little bloke sweeping up as well. So I'm trying to get it right for you. So that's in there. There is lighting in the buildings. I'll show you the lighting, how we do it in a moment. So there is buffer stop lighting here. We've just got to wire these up yet. So on each and every single one of these, it is all lit up. So these are some of the Helgen tankers we've recently bought from, I think they were from Hatton actually. Absolutely lovely. So I think these are Econ or something. Yard lamps. We've got to weather them up a bit yet. We've started to weather the base up a bit and stuff. Still a bit more to go yet. So this is where the wagons come in for their general maintenance from running merry-go-round trains. So we've got a bit of detail here. Oh, little man's got knocked over there. You have to glue each one down. Usually when we come back from an exhibition, we usually have a person or two missing or something like that. In here, put all the lighting underneath. These are all individual. This is another scene craft. This is from Bachmann. Got it a while ago. It's a special edition one, something engine shed. Like I said, we're using all resin models. We don't use cardboard. One little knock, and yeah, with cardboard. They're great for obviously home layouts, cardboard kits, but as an exhibition layout, really cause a problem. So quite nice, simply, all our buildings just pop off. I'll show you the underneath now. So not the best one. We use copper tape, and it goes round to the side here. So each one of these and each one of these little lights is all wired up. As you can see, they're micro LEDs. Let me just plonk this out of the way. And what we've got here, so we just put copper tape on the bottom, and it slots in place quite nicely in between all the objects that are stored. There's little objects that hold it in place perfectly. So we just use copper tape and we can just lift the building on or off, no wires to pull away. What we've also done, we've got pits down here. These are being weathered up. I'm going to move some of these out of the way so you can see. We also put lighting in there just for a bit of detail. And we started to weather the base and the bottom. So some of it's been worn off with trap rubber and we've been cleaning. It's a bit awkward to clean around there. So concrete around here, we use filler. Literally use balsa wood, stick it round, let it dry, let it set, leave it for at least a day or two to set, especially when it's nice and thick like this. Sand it down and then literally spray with like a matte grey paint. We've used like a concrete paint before, but it's just not the right colour. Then we build these out of plasticard for the crossings. Go with there. So signals are all being wired in at the moment. Some of them do work, one down the other end does. And then we've started to run trunking in as well down the sides. The flats are being slowly lit up. We've started to put some detail, start to weather it a bit and put some little people in there. Okay, no. Then we have a little car park, or the back of a car park. The idea is these are the back of properties coming across. Behind the layout, we don't have room to put full flats or anything like that. We have a little West Hill Wagon Works sign. Just hop this out of the way. So this is our engine shed. This is another Bachmann Scenicraft one. This one, I can't remember, I had it a few years ago. We're still doing the detailing inside, but we've used the same thing, little micro lights, and then we've copper taped the bottom for all the lighting as well. We're starting to put the little shunt signals and stuff in yet. They've got to be wired up. So we've got a little man here, another Recon light. So he's there, obviously with the lever frame, which is for all the points. And then we have just here. So this is just a little office building where people obviously didn't like the mess room. So use quite a few of these. Do love cabinets and wiring. We've got little wires to come out yet and everything else, and go to point motors, and obviously so we've got all those to come across. So then we've got the bridge works here. So we have a little man streaking at someone in a Mini. So it's just a little bit of humour for when obviously doing exhibitions in there. Then we have a little lady beating up a little child and stuff. We've got a little gentleman getting a bit merry there on the field. Okay, let's go down the side here. So generally this is a storage siding. We use for like anything derelict and stuff like that, just to store there, create a little bit of interest. Okay, so another little gentleman's been knocked over. So this is another, I'll sort them in a minute. So this is another Scenicraft shed. This is actually a HO scale shed. These are for European, for Germany and stuff. You should be able to find these, but it's under HO scale stuff, but the gauge and everything else looks right. We've put the little lighting in again, same LED strip through. And then we've got a little man here on the signal. That signal's one of the ones that are working. We've got more lighting to go at the back here. Usually we have like an 08 or something at the back here, just at the back of the shed. So we've created a little rail platform with obviously some welding bits and everything else on there. So we've still got like a little hillside at the back. We've got some sheep and stuff to put on there. And then we have obviously signal box and stuff to go in there for the further. That's where the extension's going from that way. Right, brief one on the electronics of the layout. So, right, we built a, bear with me for 1 second, see if I can zoom out. No. Right, so we built our own little control panel. We use DCC Concepts, actually, they do the alpha point system, which is great. So this little point motor here, they move nice smoothly across. So what we've got, it gives us navigation, so we can actually see where an actual route of which way the train's going to go. So if I want to go right from here to here, we can just go 1, 2. You can hear the point motors probably going across. So the little green light, that siding we can turn it on or off, because sometimes we can stick a DC locomotive there. So each and every point, just nice tap of the button, works absolutely great, and you can remember where your point systems are. We have switches which are separate for the lighting and stuff, so you can turn all the lighting on and off and such through that. So this is a ramp meter. This shows us how much, it's not a requirement, but it shows us how many amps are going in and out of the system, so you can see whether stuff's working correctly or not. Down the bottom here, this is a separate switch we have for programming and track. Okay, just at the back here, this is a separate programming track, and it goes right underneath to the back. There is an access hole, so when we're at the back doing an exhibition, we can program or work on a locomotive separately where the joint is. Obviously they don't conduct. So on the programming track down here, we can just either switch it to track power or we can switch it to program. Okay, on the side here we have a little button. We just knock that off, or the power goes off. So it's anything at all. During, say there's a derailment, we can just knock it off, nice and easy. Right, wiring. I've done my best to try and label stuff up. Okay, so literally we have everything. We have DCC feeds in, because underneath here there is a little block connector that connects everything up. I'll show you that in a second. So this is all the DCC feed in, DCC feed out. So obviously we have the in and out, we have red and black. Red's closest track, red's the closest track to us, black's the outer. Always keep them the same. So that little LED works off here. These are got a resistor in, they just pre-work off the DCC. So literally the track feed goes in, track feed goes out, back to the layout. So it comes into the control panel and back out to the layout. These are just junction points, what it goes off to. So when the track feed comes in, it also goes through the ramp meter here, which gives us the ampage and how much is being worked, and then goes back out before it's isolated. Here, these are for the point control system, so you get these tiny little buttons. They come with some like sticky pads, but highly recommend just gluing them in like we have. Staying a lot better. And you just navigate them to. We have point 1, which can either go left throw or right throw. You can just change them around if you need to. And the same through these. This is the control panel that all the wiring goes into. So from here, the wiring then goes through into this control panel, which is really important for us. So rather than loads of separate wires going to every point, because this unit has to come off. So when we're doing exhibitions, there's just one tiny little connector that comes out, and we can just disconnect it or connect it back up. And then we have the 12-volt feed in or out, and that gets distributed into different sections. Sorry, my knees are going. So underneath here, it's not very bright, it's a bit dark. So much we require: 2 plugs and some USB power, which is much needed on exhibition to keep your phone charged. So we have all the frog juicers here. This is what I was explaining earlier. These go to the points. This goes off. This goes off one connector at the top here. This just comes straight off, and that connects all the frogs on the points straight to the system. We have the Gauge Master Prodigy Advanced 2 system. This is the little wireless adapter that we have with it. That goes to our wireless controllers. We also have a USB uplink as well, which links it to the computer, which is great for programming like speed curves in. And then the power supply we got off eBay, which is a 12-volt power supply. I can't remember the exact amp, but it's quite a high wattage, so we can stick quite a lot on there. And it runs off 2 different rails as well. So, and they're really, I think it's about £10–15, and because if you get the really cheap ones, they just don't give out. And then we have to have a separate type power supply. Cheers DCC Concepts for making everything expensive. This goes to the for the point motors. So just give you a list. That's one of our little control panel hubs. That's what connects the controllers and the USB outlet through there. That's one of the undersides of the inspection pit where we put the micro LEDs in, and that's the lighting controller, which is for a welding effect that we're working on in the pit at the minute. So the point motors we use are all DCC Concepts. So the Cobalt point motors, they just require 2 wires and they run in a bus. So we haven't got to connect them individually. So they're just literally linked together, one to the other, to the other, to the other. It all runs off the DCC bus. So we've got all the bus wires for the track. Every single piece of track is connected individually, so there's no running problems. You've then got the frogs connected separately, which we use these separate black wires for. And then you've got the point motors, which run off the bus. So for connecting the layout together, we actually use, these are PC power supply connectors. So quite nice and cheap. Just 8-pin connectors or 12-pin connectors, and they just plug straight together. Now we've got the more point motors here. Just make sure they're not too close together. This is for the, what's this one for? Sorry, yep, that's for the frog juicers. So that just pulls straight out. These little connection blocks, you can pick them up on eBay quite cheap, or on any model shop really, on there. So, sorry, how's it going? So I hope that's all a bit of an insight for you on bits and bobs. We've got wagons galore and everything else. I'm not too sure if you're interested in that, but you'll see those over time. And I hope you enjoyed the video. So, thank you very much. Cheers.